What is up, guys? Neil here. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk about vibe coding, but vibe coding a real product, not just like 90% of vibe coding videos where it's like, here's how you click buttons to get your AI agent to code. Like, those videos are cool and all, but the diminishing point of returns is like 5 videos. You can watch 5 of those videos, and if you're still watching them, you're kind of just wasting your time. You should actually be building things from there, and after you build like 5 things just to like test it out and like test your skills and get a little bit better at getting a feel for the agents, then from there, you should be figuring out, okay, what should I even be building in the first place? So that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about an actual product that I'm actually building and I plan on shipping, how I arrived at the conclusion that I should be making this product, and then I'm going to show you my workflow to actually build it a little bit, and then I'm going to show you a 3-step prompt engineering process that allows you to bust through walls pretty much. So if you face any problem that you could possibly face, maybe there's probably problems that it can't get through, obviously, but actually Apple and Oxford made a paper on this prompt engineering technique, and they said it took them from a 6% chance to a 91% chance of solving very complex problems. So let's get into it. I'm going to come over here. So just so you have like a rubric for what we're talking about, let me move my big fat head out of the way here. So we're going to do a project demo, which is the app that I'm working on. I'm going to show you the workflow for how I decided to build that. I'm going to, again, demonstrate it for you. And then from there, we'll get into the actual 3-step prompt engineering process that took Apple and Oxford from 6% to 91%. And funny enough, if you actually read the paper, I'll put it in somewhere on the video here. There is like a paper, and they said basically they made a hypothesis and they asked themselves, what is mathematically the best way to prompt an LLM in order to reduce future constraints? And I asked myself this exact question 6 months ago, either on this channel or the other channel, and I came up with the exact same 3-step process, the exact same conclusion that they came up with, which is kind of funny. I'm proud of myself, okay? No, but anyways, I'll actually walk through that first because I think that'll be pretty valuable for a lot of people. So step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is, let's say you're approaching a problem in your code base, right? Or you're approaching a problem in your project and you've tried to solve the problem a few times by vibe coding through it or whatever. If you want to just bust right through it, what you should do is go to your AI agent and say, okay, let's take a big step back, look at all of the context, and approach things from the irreducible first principles of the problem that we're trying to solve, identifying the components and slowly working up from there, and then identify all possible issues that could be causing this problem. That last part is very important. And the most important part is that is where you cut off the prompt. You don't say, and then solve it. No. You have this one shot, this one prompt, one-shotting the searching of the problem space. That is your goal here. Take all of the context into consideration, search through the problem space from first principles, find all possible issues, and that is it. That means it spends all of its computation on searching through the problem space and finding all of the issues that could be correlated with the problem that you're trying to solve. Okay? From there, you go to step 2, which is the second prompt. From there, you say, give me a confidence score on each of these issues causing the problem, and then ask yourself some questions on how you could frame solving the problem. So usually whenever you're trying to solve a problem, the better your questions are, the better your answer will be. So you have the agent ask itself the best questions and have it rate those with a confidence score as well. Okay? And then from there, you actually have it go through, think deep, and solve the problem. So it's a 3-step process, and then you can repeat for any arbitrary problem that you have pretty much. These agents are actually pretty good whenever you prompt them very well. You just have to understand that each shot that you're doing, like you can do 1-shot, 2-shot, 3-shot prompts, Each shot is a chunk of computation. And if you can spend more computation on smaller things, you're going to get better results. So if we split up the computation for a problem into 6 different chunks, and each chunk of computation is focused in a different way, and then it all cohesively comes together, you have just spent 6 times the computation on a problem than if you did a 3-shot or a 1-shot prompt, and double that of a 3-shot prompt, right? So that's how you kind of got to think about these things, is like, how much computation am I allocating to these specific types of things? What's up, guys? Real quick, if you're finding this video valuable and you'd like more stuff like this, I recommend to join Eon City, linked in the description below. This is my community full of entrepreneurs, builders, engineers, founders, and investors who are all building with artificial intelligence, focused on the future of technology and actually building real world things that have real world impact. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to join, link in the description below. It is literally only $7 per month. I know people charging upwards of hundreds of dollars per month in the AI space, and my community is just as good, if not better than theirs. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to join. And now let's get back to the video. But let me demonstrate the product for you, and then I'll show you my workflow. And then we already did this, so I'll just like highlight that out or whatever. Cool. And then we'll go down to, what should we actually be building? Because that's most people's problem, is they're building things and they think they have a good idea, but 90% of the time they don't. Again, they spend maybe weeks, months, maybe years trying to build a product. They build it. They think it's the best idea ever. They talk to their friends. They're like, yeah, it's a pretty good idea. They talk to their mom. Their mom is like, hell yeah, honey, I'm so proud of you. And then they ship the product and everybody hates it. Maybe not hates it, but the market rejects it. They don't get money, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. All right. That being said, let's get to my product that I'm working on. So the reason I decided to build this product, and basically what this is a 3D modeling product. So it's basically like Cursor for 3D models. So I can go here and say, I want to build a rocket, and then it will generate some concepts for the rocket. And then I click on the concept that I want to materialize, and then it'll materialize it into my 3D viewer here in the screen. And then I can click print, and I'll print it on my 3D printer. So basically what I've noticed is, it says, do you mean a model rocket, a static display rocket, or something else? Model rocket. Okay. So basically I made an observation, right? And one of the things, this goes into what to build, AI trajectory. I made an observation that world models are becoming really good with AI. If you notice, Genie 3, VO3, image generation models, Nano Banana, all of these models are becoming extremely good at world modeling. And even Demis Hassabis had a podcast with Lex Friedman recently where he said it's pretty insane the accuracy at which these things can simulate physics. It's almost as if there's like this latent space that we share of this Platonic it's basically similar to the Platonic representation hypothesis, I guess you could say. But there's like a latent space that we almost kind of like share. And whenever we train these models, it's almost like they're gaining an intuition and understanding for the physics that is the Earth, or excuse me, operates within the universe. It's almost similar to like the holographic principle, if you're familiar. But basically, I made the observation that AI is continuing along world modeling, and it's going to get a lot better. And I said, well, the final way of doing 3D modeling will probably be generating them, and they'll be like physically accurate for the product that you're trying to build. It'll be dimensionally accurate. Maybe you'll do like a LiDAR scan for the problem space, and then you'll have your AI model generate some models, and then it'll be a really well designed piece of engineering for that problem. And I think this is kind of going to be a solution, or could be a solution one day for that. So as you can see, Adam generated me some concepts, and I clicked on one and it generated me a 3D model. And then I can continue the conversation, and I can print it from here, on my 3D printer. And it will automatically slice it within the Bamboo Studio. It'll automatically slice it. It'll weigh out exactly how many grams it'll weigh. It'll weigh out all of those different things. And then I can just click print. It'll quote me on how much it's going to cost. I can pay for it right here, print it, and then I ship it to the customer. That's basically what this platform does for now. It's going to get a whole lot better. Stay tuned. But Yeah, as you can see, you get a little 3D model, and then you can click print, and it'll quote you, etc., etc. So the reason I am building this is, for one, that, as what I just mentioned, AI and the trajectory of it, and how I think CAD modeling, 3D modeling, engineering is going to be changing. There's actually people printing 3D rockets right now. They're 3D printing rockets, rocket engines, not just rockets, but actual rocket engines that actually work with metal 3D printers. And they use AI models to generate the engine model. Think about that. AI models are generating the 3D models for the engine, and they are 3D printing those, and they work. Now, again, they're not the best right now, but they're going to improve. This is an exponential. Maybe it's not as exponential as some people would like it to be, but it is something that continues to improve. It is something that grows, and I think it's going to get really, really good. And I think, let's put it this way. I'm going to be catching the wave if I build something like this versus building an app that solves a gap that GPT-5 doesn't fill in. I'm not filling in any gaps here. I'm catching the wave, and it's going to accelerate my product. That's the thesis for the AI trajectory on what to build. The second one is, okay, well, what is happening to software? Let me take a bigger step back. Let's get back to the AI trajectory. So right now we have just-in-time software. And it's not fully here yet. Like there's still some things where it's not just in time. It's maybe in like a few weeks just in time. Like this. I mean, you can build this pretty quick if you somewhat know what you're doing. But like, it's not going to be like, you're not going to build this in 5 minutes. It's going to be working instantly. You know, it might take a little bit of time, and then to make it really work seamlessly, it might take a little bit longer. But very soon, you're going to be able to build that just in time as well, I believe. I think maybe like 6 months from now, you're going to be able to like two-shot this platform, and it's going to work extremely seamlessly. So we're going to just-in-time software right now. Very soon, we'll have just-in-time services. And that's kind of where this is going to be going here very soon, where this is kind of just like a just-in-time software at the moment, but the just-in-time service is, well, you'll see. I have a good idea for it. So just-in-time software, and then we have just-in-time services, and then we'll have just-in-time physical world services. That's kind of the trajectory of AI that I'm seeing right now. And I think you can play out some second and third order consequences of the scenarios of how that'll impact SaaS as a service or software as a service, just the agency model, like normal service-based businesses online, and then physical world services as well. We're going to an era where it's more so infrastructure as a service. And software as a service doesn't really work in that era because it's very easily reproducible. It's just kind of like, it duplicates like it's nothing, right? So software as a service is kind of like, there's no moat very soon. Like there is technically a moat still, but very soon the moat will be diminishing. So I think if you want to build software, you need to do like software plus hardware, or software plus physical infrastructure, or software plus VR, software plus crypto, software plus community. If you want to build software, you have to do those things. Otherwise, your business probably isn't going to be alive very long. Let's just be blunt, right? If we're going to have just-in-time software, which I do believe we're going to have, it's definitely not going to be longer than 3 years from now. Let's put it that way. If you're building a software as a service, you're probably not going to be in business in 3 years from now. I would actually bet that you wouldn't be in business. Yeah, and then from there, after you kind of like understand the trajectory and you want to build with the AI, because a lot of people's business model is like, okay, GPT-5 is good at all these things, but it sucks at this thing. Let me build something that makes GPT-5 better at these things. Well, it's like, well, GPT-6 is coming soon, and then GPT-7 will be coming after that. So you're going to have a business that lasts for 12 months. That doesn't sound like a good idea, does it? Or like Cursor. Cursor is $1 billion company. Windsurf is $1 billion company. If you ask me, they're stupid. I think they're terrible companies. And now some people will be like pissed off and annoyed because the product's amazing. And the product is amazing. But my point is they're not building for the trajectory of AI. They're building for AI today. They said, oh, AI is not good at coding. AI, the interface of AI isn't that great for agentic software building. But guess what? Claude Code's here now. The Codex CLI is here now. And the Codex CLI is going to get it a whole lot better than Cursor could ever be. Why? Because OpenAI can do agentic reinforcement learning within the problem space and the interface of the CLI and Codex. It's designed specifically with the interface for that problem space. You cannot do that as Cursor unless you raise tens, hundreds of billions of dollars, which they're not going to do. Just saying. They're not going to do that, meaning their company is going to die in years, not decades, years, which is nothing. If you want to build a company, you might as well just die today and build something different, okay? So software and hardware, software and community, software and VR, build for the AI trajectory. So you can do like just-in-time services or just-in-time physical services is kind of what I'm building with. That's kind of where this is going. People will look at this and be like, oh, this is just-in-time software. Well, it's going to be just-in-time physical services because the main product is 3D printing farm. This isn't the product. The product is the farm of 3D printers. Infrastructure as a service is the goal. Oops. Okay, here we go. Now, one thing I see a lot of people doing is maybe they do this part right. They have the AI trajectory right. Maybe they have this part, or maybe they have this part, but they don't do this part. What we're kind of doing here is we're narrowing it down to decrease the probability of failure, right? There's a good quote by Charlie Munger. Excuse me. There's a good quote by Charlie Munger. He says, "Show me where I'll die so I know to never go there." This is the inversion principle. Basically, he says, let me look at all of the things that aren't going to exist in 5 years and check them off my list to make sure I don't do them. How do I do that? Well, I look at the trajectory of AI and I model it. I do things that are like this instead of the other things. If I do these things, it's more likely to survive, right? So if I model the trajectory of AI and I say, okay, just-in-time software is coming, I probably shouldn't do a traditional software as a service. Or I say, okay, just-in-time services are also coming right after just-in-time software. I probably shouldn't do a traditional service agency. Or just-in-time physical services are coming also after those two things. I probably shouldn't do like a cleaning company because people are just going to have a humanoid in the home and it's going to be cleaning for them. And they're not going to need me because they have just-in-time cleaning, right? So those are all of the things that you shouldn't do. What are the things that you should do? Software plus hardware, software plus physical infrastructure, software plus VR, software plus crypto, software plus community platform. Yeah, I mean, those are the things that I'm doing personally. Copy me if you want. I don't care. These are the things that I'm really doing. These are the things that I'm doing. And then from there, a lot of people will do that correctly, but they forget this part, which is the market backwards approach. So let's say you do all of the first two steps correctly, and then you spend all of this time building something. You spend weeks, months, maybe a year, maybe more than that, building a product, polishing it. Your friends are like, that's so sick. I would definitely buy that product. Your mom's like, hell yeah, honey. I'm so proud of you. And then you go to launch it and the market doesn't want it. They just don't buy it. They don't vote for it with their wallets. And at that point, you just spent this time building something for no reason at all, really. Now, certain products have built-in demand. There are certain products that do have that. You just have to make sure you have that product, which usually that needs to be a product that either like is like immensely valuable, like a self-driving car, or like a rocket that takes people to space, or it just saves an immense amount of time for literally zero effort. If it does something like that, I mean, you're good. But most products are not that thing. They're not that. So I recommend starting by building an audience first, which is why I'm making this YouTube video. I'm personally doing the market backwards approach on you guys. So I'm creating YouTube videos, I'm building an audience, I'm providing value to you guys. Hopefully you find this valuable. And then from there, I funnel my audience into a community. That being said, if you do want to join the community, you can actually join. It is only $7 per month, which it is extremely valuable for that price. You see people all over YouTube, not to name names, charging hundreds of dollars per month, sometimes $1,000 per month for their community, and my community is literally probably just as valuable, if not more valuable, than those communities that are charging $100 per month. Some of them way more than that, and mine's literally only $7 per month. But the price is going up soon, so you can lock in at $7 per month today and never have to pay more in the future. And you can also cancel at any time. That being said, that's the strategy. Is I make content, I build audience, I funnel them to community, I have conversations, I get ideas, I create product, I ship to audience and community. I'll just put that. I get feedback, I iterate, or build something new. And then I ship again, and then I can keep repeating the cycle. And guess what? I already have customers. Literally, I have 418 people in here paying $7 per month. If you want to join and be somebody who is with 418 people who are all focused on the leading edge of artificial intelligence, I recommend to join. It's actually pretty valuable in here. Anyways, let me get back to the video before I keep shilling. But yeah, this is literally what I do. And then guess what? Customers already exist before I even build the product. My audience is already there before I even build the product. They tell me exactly what to build on my product. I literally can have calls. If I go to the calendar, we literally have weekly calls with the community where, guess what? Everybody just kind of like gives me product ideas. And obviously it's very valuable as well for everybody. Like half the time I'm in there like sharing my secrets and sharing everything that I'm planning on doing. And we're kind of like organizing our ideas together, and it's pretty valuable for everybody. But I'm also getting probably way more value than I could even comprehend in there, just because I have 418 customers in here who are all interested in buying things from me. Why? Because I did these steps. I post on YouTube, I funnel to a community, I have conversations, I get ideas, I make products, I ship out feedback. Yeah, you get the point. If you're not doing this, I don't know what you're doing. Also do this. Build with the trajectory of AI. Do these things. Do this. Do everything that I showed you in this video. And it should be hard to lose. It should be very hard to lose. Yeah, that being said, join the community. I will see you guys in the next video.